Welcome to Podcast 27. It's Guarding the Gates of Your Marriage, and this is the part 2. Now, this is the second part of a 2-part podcast on Chapter 9, Guarding Your Marriage Gates.
Quiet on the set. Lights. Camera. Action. Roll camera.
And so let's pick up where we left off when...
You were laughing, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I was laughing at Penny, but Penny was talking about drawing the diagram, and you were supposed to draw your own, and now you can read the book for yourself and study the diagram and the significance of each of the 10 gates. But we want to focus on the fact that those were vulnerable entry points to conquering the city. And in marriage, there are weak entry points if you let down your guard against them.
Yeah, definitely. And if you know Nehemiah, he was really, he was concerned about repairing the gates first. That's kind of what started to happen in the book of Nehemiah. I think it's chapter 3. They were focusing on, we got to get these gates back up, and we've got to shore them up because they know each gate had a function. And in marriage, again, we're saying each gate has a function. Let us give you an example of the symbolism and pick our personal favorite gate, the dung gate, okay? You can probably tell what the dung gate was used for in Jerusalem. I mean, the daily trash and refuse was going in and out of that gate. And, you could really stink up the town if you left that stuff within the walls of the city. It had to go out to wherever it was that they dumped it. And it's the same thing with marriage. We need to visit the dung gate regularly.
Really?
And that we do.
Okay.
And have to, confess those things and get rid of that garbage and that stuff that can just build up so easily. And it may sound funny, and it's good to be humorous about this stuff, but it's true. I mean, we really need to make sure that we are coming before the Lord individually in our quiet times and saying, Lord, is there anything in me that needs to change? Not, pointing the finger at his dung or the things that I think aren't right in him, okay?
I don't have anything wrong.
He doesn't have anything. And another example would be the gate that's called the inspection gate. That was the gate where in the city, the king would inspect his troops as they would come into and out of that gate. And it's that same kind of inspection that we need to do in our hearts, bringing them before God and also having accountability partners. The inspection gate, you are accountable to God, your spouse, and others for every aspect of your spiritual and marital growth.
So, to wrap it up, we want to encourage you to become a marriage gatekeeper. Mm-hmm. We want you to keep watch over every one of those 10 areas of your marriage. And you need to review them together, and you need to do it from time to time because, you can get, we're doing okay. And a lot of people drop their accountability people and stuff like that in their life. In reality, you have to keep reviewing this stuff. And that's why God's Word's so important. If you really read it from cover to cover, He keeps reminding us that we forget. Exactly. And we go into our old habits. So,
and speaking of forgetting, I forgot to tell you why I wanted you to draw the diagram out. This is a really important activity that we want you to finish up. Next to each gate, we would like you to come up with one tool or one way that you're going to guard. You're going to be a marriage gatekeeper over that area of your relationship. So think about this, pray over it. Mm-hmm. And it could be a process of, it could take you a few times or if you, spend some time together in God's Word, looking through what Nehemiah said. But it says next to each gate, write one idea or tool you will implement to help you guard what that gate symbolizes in your marriage. And then you can regularly revisit that diagram that you have done together. It's kind of like your standards. You go back to them when you feel like you're out of alignment and say, where's the weak part in our marriage?
So that's a good way of saying that, hey, listen, women, our wives, you don't need to revisit this thing every day, because when you drive your car is in alignment until you hit something and then it goes out of alignment. Then that's when you address the issue. Yeah. And that's what, guys are scared to do this hard work with their wives because they're scared, oh man, I'm going to open up my gate and they're going to come in and they're going to keep harping on this issue. Mm-hmm. Don't harp on it. Go to God and ask, what do you need to change in your own heart? Don't leave your marriage open, vulnerable, and exposed to the enemy. He took us down, and he can take your marriage down too. So if you're not careful about guarding your marriage gate, you're going to land up with a problem that you don't need to have if you're intentional about the gates of your marriage.
Thanks for tuning in. It means a lot to us. Please tell your friends and others about this free podcast website. And we look forward to seeing you in our next podcast as we move into Chapter 10.
There you go.